Hi, welcome back, guys, to the part 2 of the Driven by Christ autos. This is Grandpa's Supernova. So, anyways, to kind of give a background on what was going on this morning, this is a family heirloom. Belonged to a family. Grandma used to own this car. Grandma did some street racing back in the day, but she's passed away now, and she had a wild side in her. She used to have some license plate that said Hellfire and all this stuff. So we went ahead and upgraded her license plate to, we're building this car for them in honor of Jesus. So we got Jesus lives, but it looks like Jesus loves. Whatever way you want to look at it, both of them are good. So I hope they accept the modified license plates. Me and Jamie spent actually $1,700 on re-registering the vehicle with custom tags for them. So I hope it was not a waste, and they want anything resembling hell on their car. But either way, uh, we got our parts list for O'Reilly, so we're gonna go ahead. I created that over lunchtime, so we gotta go ahead and start ordering all the stuff that we need. And my stupid self accidentally got in there and was scrapping, parts that we couldn't fix, and I accidentally scrapped some of the good stuff because I was just going too fast. So we got to get two more regular pistons because we knew in this car the pistons was not damaged. We found out that Grandpa forgot to change the oil filter whenever he did the oil change, and after a while, guys, if you don't change an oil filter, it starts building up sludge and contaminants in that oil filter, and oil doesn't flow as easily through that filter as what it should. And eventually it starved the oil pump up, and it locked the main bearings up in the crankshaft, and end up tearing up some stuff. So we was not able to also rebuild the head. One of the heads was completely destroyed. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but we did say we was gonna go ahead and bless these people, and we're gonna go ahead and throw some performance heads. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upgrade every performance aspect to where it doesn't sacrifice gas mileage. So basically, it's got a smaller carb on it right now, and we're going to absolutely open that small carburetor up as wide as it will go, and we're going to give it supporting modifications to make use of that extra fuel and air. One, they get better fuel economy. Two, they definitely going to have some more performance. So these regular heads are $800. We are going to be able to sell one head for $800, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some trick flow heads for this car. We're going to get the good stuff. Let's see. And they're only $800 for the performance head. How can you go wrong? They're the same exact price. So, uh, we're gonna go ahead and get. I've never noticed that the performance heads were exactly the same price as the regular heads. I guess O'Reilly's cut us a deal today, so we're gonna go ahead and buy two trick flow heads, high flow performance cylinder heads. We'll put them on the order. Grandpa is really going to like the way this sounds. We're also going to get the supporting header. That way it doesn't restrict the flow of his head in any way. The rest of the exhaust will flow the air. It's just going to be, kind of quiet. But I'm thinking about just upgrading the whole exhaust system. That way this car sounds, immaculate, really good. Uh, we got to get, oh yeah, regular part menu. We got to get some new rocker arms. I accidentally scrapped a few of them, so I'm just going to get 4 of them just to make sure that I got enough. I don't know exactly Now this is going to be a supporting mod that you got to have with those heads. You got to have a bigger intake in order to support the airflow for that head. So right there, $307. It's only about $70 more than the original. So we're going to go ahead and grab it. All right. This engine's gonna look nice because we're also gonna do some painting to the valve covers. I mean, we're really gonna make this thing stick out. So we're just gonna need one cam gear, one timing chain. The oil pump was refurbished with the block, and the lift pump on the side for the. You got a fuel pump that brings fuel to the lift pump. The lift pump brings it up to your carburetor. That way, because if you were to just hook a fuel pump straight up to a carburetor, it would overflow it within a matter of seconds. It would be dumping so much fuel inside of the motor, it would literally die. It would foul out the plug. So we're going to run a high fire ignition system. Wires, we're going to do the full MSD high fire ignition system. So what did I just erase? This dumb computer, boy, gets me so aggravated sometimes. Let me see if I can't find the distributor that we're going to need. We just don't want to put the big carburetor on it, you know, because that's really going to be throwing more fuel in it than we actually need. Here's our exhaust for the V8 OHV. So we're going to go ahead and pick up two of these headers. That way it matches up with our head. Where's our distributor at? Alright, so right here is our ignition coil. We know we're going to need one of them. There it is, right there. The distributor, and I think it is a distributor A that actually, I don't know. Is it distributor A or B? That's what I don't remember. I want to say that it's going to be A. But then again, it's also on the front of the block. I think these are the ones that go down the side. I think it is. Let me look at. I don't know. I done forgot and accidentally erased it. So I know it's just a regular distributor cap. You're going to need the rotor button, and it's going to be the ignition wires V8. I don't think it's the. Well, it actually may be that. It may be the V8. Let me see if that's what it is. Because I'll know which one it takes by looking at the distributor. So let's back out of here and look in our parts inventory and see what I haven't sold. Just regular ignition wires, V8, and it is just a regular ignition distributor A. That's what I was thinking. So, alright, we're going to get one, and then the regular ignition wires, V8. We already keep the, you know, the factory, or not the factory, but the performance plugs. I really wish it would let us do the twin carb, but well, that's probably going to use some more fuel than what we need. Quit kicking me off. Boy, my computer just keeps failing these days. It's fixing to fail itself in the trash can, I tell you that. Or fixing to be working with the tablet. But alright, so we got our order in for O'Reilly's. They're going to be bringing the parts over. We did assemble the, I was also looking at something else too. Since this thing did have a big block V8, and we did do a brake upgrade, but I was thinking about upgrading the rotors and getting the performance ceramic coated heat dispersant, kind of like a Brembro braking system. It's driven by DrivenByChrist performance brakes. So it's a custom in-house built caliper. and they're ceramic coated, so they disperse heat really well. They got a better cylinder, so I think we're gonna do that too. And we told them we was gonna hook them up, and since this car is, you know, gonna have a lot more power than what it had before, we're gonna make sure that Grandpa can stop. So we're gonna upgrade. We're gonna go ahead and do the Driven by Christ racing brakes. So we'll just take those factory rotors. Let's go to the brake section. And we're not gonna get too wild. We're just gonna I don't know. We may go ahead and throw the throw some of these slotted and vented, because that's going to help with heat dispersant and to help keep our pad wore off, where it's got a cutting channel and keeps all the surfaces really smooth. So I think we're going to do that. We're just going to get 2 of them. Alright, so we got that in the order too. We're going to upgrade the brakes. Let's head out here and go do our painting. And since I put the drag car down there at our parking area, Jamie can't park the car in the paint booth no more, or it's going to get in the way everywhere I go. So let's go ahead and paint these parts while O'Reilly's gets our parts together. Well, we already had 2 of them painted. I'll just go ahead and paint 2 more. So let's see, is that the one, or is it the It was more like this fire engine red, a little bit brighter red. It really wasn't orange, because that's orange. This is, yeah, it was this one. Alright, so we got that. We'll make it a little bit brighter red since it is hidden behind the rim. That way it does show up a little bit more. Was thinking about doing some custom rims for them too, because we do got some extra wheels, but I just didn't have 4 of them, so you know, we're not going to do that. And then we always, my favorite thing for these performance V8s was the candy apple red valve, the cylinder head covers, or valve covers right here. You got a cover A and a cover B, so and we go with the chrome and that right there. That's normally what we run into there. If they pop the hood, we want it to stick out. But then again, I also thought about it. You know, this car is blue. You know, so we can do like that baby chrome blue on there. That way it matches with the car. But you know, red does say performance, but I don't know. Red can resemble the blood of Christ too, so I mean, either way you look at it, but this is going to be more matching to the vehicle's color, and that would kind of look more like a factory look instead of a, you know, a drag car. So I think we're going to go with that. I think we're going to go with the blue. We always do the red. Let's do something different. Alright. Let's find the other cylinder head cover. Whoop, back up, right there. Previous, yep. I don't know how you even got that. Come on. Alright. Boy, sometimes this paint controller over here, son. Alright. So anyways, we got our stuff painted. Jamie has just messaged me and let me know that all the big stack of parts come in, so we're gonna go ahead and start assembling this motor. So now that she's got all of our parts back here on the table, we are gonna go ahead and put in our brand new machine crank that we got it. We did go with a little bit better than a factory crank. We went with a Lanati Pro Balance crank. It's made out of stronger material. And we went with some better bearings this time too, a little bit more clearance. So they're gonna have to run a heavier oil weight instead of what was recommended factory, but the racing oil that we use, we can get it in many different shapes, forms, and sizes. And I talked to the boy and let him know, hey, you know, if the oil changes need to be get done, bring it to my shop. I will do the oil change for it as soon as we see this car in the lineup. You know, we're gonna snatch it out, and we're gonna do the work for him, because I don't. We're putting a lot of time and business money into building this engine. Uh, so we want to have a returning customer, and I've already got a performance flywheel and clutch set for this. I should have it unless I used it on another vehicle. These are the you know, standard bore, standard pistons, but we did go with a semi-forged rod. It's not a complete racing rod, but it is a little bit better than factory. You know, like I said, we didn't want to spice it up too much and go with like high compression pistons and all that, but we did go with forged Eternals, and this is a, you know, the Eagle rotating assembly. We just didn't use the crankshaft for it. We're going to save that crankshaft for another build, since we're using a Lanati into here, because Grandpa was a fan of Lanati. So put all this into there. We are installing new rings. We're not going to put the old rings into there since the block was rehoned. So everything's going to have a new surface to ride on. We've already got the cylinders sprayed down with Lucas's assembly lube, so everything should have a good first initial startup. Alright, we got 2 more pistons to go, and then we can put our oil pan back on. Alright. Alright, there we go. We got a case of oil filters. We just cleaned off all the RTV on the oil pan. We put some new oil pan gasket and RTV on it. We're just going to torque it down. Alright, now we're going to flip this thing over, because we are done with the bottom side. And there was a new oil, because see where this crankshaft turns back behind here, there is an oil pump that picks up oil from the bottom of the oil pan. Or maybe it's actually in the back. That's right, it does hook up in the back, and it goes down, it picks up oil, it sends the oil through the block in different, you know, areas, and lubricates everything that has a metal to metal surface. So we're gonna go ahead and slide the camshaft in here, drop our lifters down, and we'll put our cylinder head on, and then we'll be able to put the push rods. But we are going with we're gonna go with some hydraulic roller lifters. That way the surface that is up against the cam, and we are using the H-beam lifter lockers. That way if they do go to turning this engine up pretty hard, the vibrations does not cause the lifter to turn and eat our camshaft up. So very important. We're not running a wild cam, so still a factory cam. We're just going to basically upgrade what's already there. What they could have done from factory to get the best gas mileage and performance out of their vehicle, but they, you know, they just didn't want to spend the money on it in production. So let's get our water pump brand new. We are going to need the high volume fuel filter. Slap this alternator on there, get it out of the way. How do I not have the... Man, that must have been another part that got scrapped. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's pull out our tablet, guys, because looks like I accidentally scrapped the harmonic balancer too, or the crankshaft pulley. Alright, so we got that order in for that. We'll go ahead and start we'll go ahead and put on these new heads. Now these are trick flow heads, Chevy Performance heads. They did have some Brian Tooley's, but in Texas Speed, but they didn't have any of them in stock. I know Trick Flow is a good brand, you know, because you want to flow more air. That's the whole point of it. So now we can go ahead and slide our push rods in, and these are upgraded push rods too. They're a lot stronger than the factory ones. Let me get in the position where I can do this a lot easier. There we go. We'll just start from this end and go up, since it don't want to do right. You just slide them down into there. They literally got a little cutout in the top of the lifter where these push rods pop into it, and it's kind of got like a little keeper that holds it there. And then once you do your valve tolerances, where you slide your filler gauge in between here and set your valve tolerances, it's really not going to let that push rod get out of here unless it, you know, a lifter collapses and it starts getting whooped. And then it'll come out of it. But we'll go ahead and set our gap and torque down our rocker arms. We also got a set of nice trick flow racing headers too. So everything's gonna be trick flow, Lenati. We're kind of going with some old school brands on this. Well, trick flow is really not that old. The oldest stuff is gonna be like competition cams and stuff that you would see in them old Jegs magazines, which I think they still have them. I don't even know. I haven't seen a Jegs magazine in years, so it wouldn't matter anyways. I don't have the money to afford anything out of it. But so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put our performance headers onto here. Yeah, look at them, stainless steel, mandolin bit. So that means you're gonna have some of the best flow into this engine. Of course, we're putting the NGK racing spark plugs in here. We had to look at our gap for this head and set up that we are going to be running, and it recommended to close the gap a little bit tighter than what it was before, because putting these heads on here actually bumped the compression up quite a bit, because they shaved this head down to where it didn't stick off the block as much, and the more you lower the head closer to the piston, the more compression you have. So let's look at what these blue valve covers look like. Oh yeah, it looks pretty nice. It looks nice there. I like that. So it's definitely different than our usual, you know, candy apple race red that we use. Alright, and oh god, don't forget these. The clips. This one right here is the one that I've literally seen people on YouTube get rid of a car because of this clip. Because they never could find it. But I don't need to be laughing at other people's misfortunes. But anyways, pay attention to what you do, guys, and it won't get around on you. I make mistakes too, so don't feel bad. I would have loved to seen that big supercharger pulley, and we could have got the intake manifold to put a blower on this car. Oh man, that would have been great. But I definitely know that would have been too wild for Grandpa to be driving. Man, the belt got tore up too. We're just having to wait on all types of stuff. We gotta put in another order for another part, but they'll bring it all over here. They normally know to wait about 5 or 10 minutes after I put in an order, because I'm normally gonna add something else to it. I bet you at O'Reilly's they literally got a truck dedicated to my shop and a driver, and somebody working back into the commercial accounts like, no, this dude ain't fixing to just order one thing. He's fixing to order about 5 of each, maybe more. So get ready. Better hope your quantity on hand is correct. 'Cause I'm buying. Alright, let's see. Here we go. And now, like I said, whenever you do this, you got a bolt that goes here. This just, you know, pops into here, and then what you want to do is set your clearances and then tighten it down. Really easy to do these, you know. It doesn't take very much. Alright. And instead of having 4 valves per cylinder, like most of these import cars that I work on do, these have 2 really just huge valves, one for exhaust and one for intake. So, and they can flow more air than, you know, 4 valves per cylinder. Anytime you got less moving parts, you know, that's less friction, less wear and tear on an item. So they just took the smallest amount of components and flowed the most air that they could. Look at that valve cover. Ooh. I like that blue. It's a little bit more bluer than the body, but you know, they'll get the concept of what I was going for. I don't think they're gonna complain, because this thing is gonna have about 100 extra horsepower than what it already had before. And if Grandpa can keep his heavy foot off the pedal, it actually should get better gas mileage, just, you know, Sunday cruising. Alright, now we're ready for our ignition wires, which are going to be performance red. We got our intake manifold and our gaskets in. This is going to be the high-rise polished and intake. A little bit bigger runners, but it has a micro polished mirror finish on the inside. The reason why you want it that real smooth, like almost smoother than a freshly waxed car, is because that disturbs air whenever you don't have a smooth surface. So that's mirror finish smooth. So we definitely know air is going to flow good. And you can see that the ports are almost the same exact size that are on the head, and they're not choked down. And then, like I said, I rebuilt their carburetor for them. I went back in with a Holley kit, a Holley rebuild kit. And we did put the biggest jets that we could support in this carburetor. So we will have to, we're going to have to run it on a dyno and just make sure that we got the carb tuned right. But by manufacturers from Holley, I looked up, there's going to be an idle adjust screw and then your overall fuel adjust screw, and I adjusted it for our application exactly how many turns they recommended. And it's got a fuel pressure regulator that regulates down, you know, how much fuel pressure goes up to this carburetor, and we got that set at about 6 psi, anywhere between 6 and 8, depending on if Grandpa's going to be dumping all 4 barrels or not. But whenever our electronic fuel regulator sees that, you know, we're not opening up the secondary barrels and it's only running off the front 2, you know, it'll drop the psi back down. That way we don't flood our carburetor. But any extra fuel that's coming from that high volume fuel pump is being recirculated back into the tank. So if you go to adding some spice to the gas tank, some fuel additives, we are going to need the performance air filter for sure. It's got to have it, because we're definitely going to be flowing a lot more air than what it was. So alright, we put that in. We just have to wait for O'Reilly's to bring it over here. They got our belt here. They got all of our other parts in. So the boy said he's going to run over there and go get the air filter. So, alright. And I think we already had one of them. Nope. We're going to catch him real quick and tell us to pick up a belt too while he is there. We're going to need that. I'm just going to let him take the old belt. There you go. so that way they can match it up, make sure it's the right one. So while we're waiting on that, that's literally the final two parts before we drop this engine back into here and get the transmission, the upgraded clutch, just to make sure that I do have the clutch kit. We're gonna go ahead and order everything, because with what we're doing to this car, it is gonna have to have an upgraded clutch. This car, I think it had a 4-speed power glide. It could be a 3-speed. I really don't know until we get it out there, and we are gonna test Grandpa's Supernova at the track. So let's go ahead and install our other parts. We got our nice slotted and drilled rotors. You know what? We should have painted those brake calipers with a ceramic coated blue, but I just like the red, so we'll put that performance red on there. Really sticks out. Alright. 90, yep. So it's kind of hidden back there. You really don't know what you got until you take the wheel off. So this vehicle is still going to have kind of that old school kind of sleeper look to it, but if somebody wants to play with Grandpa, he's definitely going to be teaching them a lesson, because like I said, I think we're going to be in the ballpark range of a little over 100 extra horsepower compared to factory, so he's definitely going to feel the pep in the step. Alright. So we got that. We'll go ahead and add. We left our bleeder screws undone. We went ahead and unhooked the what do they call it? The proportioning block for the braking system. That way we didn't let air go into our drum brakes. So the only thing we'll have to bleed is just the front brakes down, since we did block that off. And we didn't lose any fluid or allowed any air pockets to get in the line. So let's go ahead and fill this thing right on up. There we go. Alright, so that's going to be completing our brake service. Once they gravity bleed and we close off the valves, we're going to test out the brakes at the track. So but he's also going to be not necessarily racing this car. So we may take this to the other track that the drag strip has got. They got a, you know, a 1 mile long strip. Actually, it's a little bit longer than 1 mile, but all they'll let you race is 1 mile on it, because they don't know if everybody's going to be able to stop. But either way, we're going to actually take it to the circuit track, and we're going to make sure that this thing's going to be able to handle and hold the road and corners and everything like that. But alright, so other parts are here. Let's go ahead and put these last two components on there, and all we got to do is drop the engine back in and pretty much just add fluids, and we'll go dyno it. We'll get a service order done, you know, proving what work we done, showing that yes, there is a change from what you brought us, which they're gonna hear it whenever they hear the car crank up. So that's it. Engine is complete. We got performance intake, performance air filter, a full racing ignition system. I mean, all the way. High flow fuel filter, high flow heads with supporting exhaust. So yeah, should definitely. The only thing we didn't mess with was the cam. The lower end has got a Eagle forged rods and pistons, same compression. We didn't bump the compression up on it or change the bore size, and it's also got a Lenati Pro Series balanced crank. So we also got one of them racing harmonic balancers, anything to keep down vibrations. So let's go ahead and get our engine hoist up here, and we're going to drop this thing in, because we are not far from getting this car on the dyno. Oh, hold on guys, I got something in my eye. Ah, that hurts. Alright, now I can see what I'm doing. Alright, let's go get the engine. Man, that thing looks good. Alright, so, you know, we would have the hoist over there. We'd actually be rolling this up to the front of the car, and let's go ahead and drop it on our new subframe. 100% all the way. Get this out of the way. Alright, so with our subframe, we did upgrade the bushings to a polyurethane bushing. This subframe is a little bit stronger, it's welded a little bit better, it can support the big block. So let's go ahead and start adding the rest of the components, and then we'll do fluids. Let's say radiator, yep. Was able to redo it. We serviced it, got it all cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and throw this battery into here. I'm just going to put a new one in because theirs is still charging because I accidentally left it plugged up and it wasn't turned on, so I drained the battery again. So we're just going to put a new one into there. Let's add fluids. There's a line right there. Alright. No, we're not going to pull out the windshield wash reservoir. I just want you to get on it. Well, see, they don't even have where you can check the wiper blades or nothing. Like I said, there is so much more content that they could add to the game and make it just keep building on this platform and make it just more realistic. More things added to it, not come out with a whole new game. You can build on this with so much. If you want to give us a different shop location or different things, just add it to what you already got. So alright, so the last thing that we got to do is we got to put in the engine oil. So, and like I said, this is going to be a 20W50 race oil with Hyperlube. Alright, there we go. And just to check it, just to make sure, we're going to pull the stick on it. Alright, so we could add a little bit more oil to it, which is exactly what we're going to do, because right there, that should be right up there to the full mark. Yep, that's it. Alright. So engine oil is all the way up to the max. That way whenever we crank this up and it fills up, you know, different areas in the engine that like trapping oil, you overall have the correct engine oil into there. So alright, we got that into there. Trying to think what else it is. I think that's going to be it. I think we are ready to go ahead and move it to the dyno. Alright guys, we'll see you in the dyno shop. Alright, so we got the car in here, we got it strapped down. Let's go ahead and put the trunk back onto here. Open up this door. Come on, there we go, and the hood. And we're, like I said, we're just going to crank it up and we will be adjusting the carb. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, wait a minute. I know what we're missing. Hold up. We are not done. Lord, I'm going to have to unstrap all this. Alright, I'll see y'all back at the rack 1 because we forgot some stuff. We could have cranked it up and done that, but I'm pretty sure we had problems getting this car over there to the shop because it doesn't have a transmission in it. Alright. Yeah, a whole big gap back here. Let's go ahead and put our performance flywheel, clutch, and pressure plate. Remember, you would have an alignment tool that would go into there that would hold this clutch disc while you put the pressure plate on. Once you got the pressure plate on, it will hold the clutch in the right place. And then it makes it really easy to, you know, be able to stab the transmission in. You don't have the necessary parts. How do I not have a clutch release bearing whenever I bought the whole kit? Well, we're just gonna order a box of these. I'm tired of always having to look for this stuff. So we gotta wait on that to get here. Let's go ahead and put the exhaust pipes back on. Alright, got that. And I guess while we're having to wait on parts again, just kind of checking everything. I should pull these. Let me just pull these back tires off just to check the drum brakes. We're good. We're gonna, yeah. So Grandpa's been keeping up with the drum brakes, so I don't have to mess with that. Because normally, if one side's done, they done both sides, because that's the way that the brake kit comes. Comes with everything you need for both sides of the vehicle. Suspension wise, it looks like the rear end and everything was recently done. Maybe Grandpa swapped out the rear end and changed it out to a Positrack rear end, which I think that's what's going on, because both these back tires were pretty evenly worn. So but anyways, let's go ahead and get the transmission onto here. After we get this throwout bearing out of the box. Alright. And let's install the transmission. Now we went ahead and we put the same type of oil in the transmission, not the 20W50, but we went with about a 1030. That way it can deal. It ain't gonna get really that cold here. And then I don't know. Then again, it's in the desert in the winter time, and I've heard that can get down to really cold. Whenever I was driving 18-wheelers, I think I parked in Arizona and the northern part of Arizona, and there was a cold front that come in, and I was just surprised at how cold it would get in the desert, but how warm it would be during the day. So 'cause I was burning up, and then I woke up in the middle of the night and it's cold enough to be snowing outside. I was like, what in the world is going on? So anyways, we're going to put our drive shaft in, and that's going to be the final component. And that's it. So alright, I'm going to get this thing off of the rack and get it in the dyno shop and strapped down, and we'll see you there. Alright, so we're back at the dyno shop again. We're strapped down. You know, we've added more fuel to the car. We went ahead and put 91 premium into it, and we're gonna see what type of power we can get out of this motor. There is no tuning on it because we don't have a custom transmission or carburetor or anything like that. So this is gonna be all factory stuff, just pushing it to its limit. So let's see what we got. Okay, 269 horsepower at 363 foot-pounds of torque. Let's see what she does now. Exactly 110 more horsepower at, man, this thing's got 500 foot-pounds of torque at with 379 horsepower. Now, speaking of 300 horsepower, so I did find out something on our Project E Eclipse. The engine that is in that Eclipse has got 369 horsepower factory, so it's some type of special edition engine and car. So, and I also found out, I don't know how I didn't see it the other day, it is an all-wheel drive, like that Eagle Talon I was telling y'all. So we may not be doing a motor swap, because I think if I swap the engine, it's going to actually produce less horsepower than the engine that's in it. So we'll be able to really get some power out of that Mitsubishi. But anyways, we're going to get Jamie to call up the customer, and Grandpa and his grandson are going to come down here and come pick up the car. So we're going to move it outside the first entrance, and she's going to give him a call, and we're going to meet him there. Alright, so they are about to be here. Why would you take the hood off? I just need you to open the hood. Just that simple. Oh man, dude. So, there we go. Alright, so whenever they get here, they're going to be like, dang, Grandpa, you got a whole race engine. Yep, you definitely do. 100 more horses and about right at 200 foot-pounds more of torque. So, but anyways, let's check our work order while we're waiting on them to get. We'll leave it open. Come on. Alright, there we go. That way he can see it whenever he gets here. Alright, so the work order is good. Perform wheel alignment. Okay, so they, alright. Either if they're on the way, this ain't gonna take that long. We need to do a wheel alignment. I don't know why I would have to do a wheel alignment, but we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of the information that they need. It's gonna be in the customer file and the printout showing yes, we did do the work we said that we done. Come on. What's going on? Why is this thing? Yep. Alright, so the back, I wonder if the shock absorbers are, yeah, the shock absorbers are a little bit worn out, probably from all the torque, and it's squatting the back end down is what took them shocks out. So yeah, Grandma was definitely racing. Oh Lord, man. Grandma was also running over stuff too. Somebody was doing some damage. Alright. Why is this thing not working? Alright, there we go. And that is it. We got the headlights we can align, and they are good. Alright, so customer's already waiting. We're fixing to toss them the keys. Alright, so yeah, they are extremely thrilled right now. They're in the office right now. They're fixing to be paying for the car, but yeah, he is definitely ready to drive it. For sure. I like these vehicles. But anyways guys, let's see what our work order brings us, and yeah, go ahead and do that. Make sure everything is green. Alright, so let's see what we made. So right there we made $9,421, but we was also using money on different parts. We've also invested into money into parts on the Eclipse, so that's the reason why our money is steadily going down. We are blessing others and then working on our projects. But that's going to be it for today, guys. It's in the afternoon. I'm done. I am ready to go. So let's go ahead and send the customer out of here and, you know, get our money. Coolant fluid missing. How is it missing? We put coolant in here. Maybe it wants some more. Yeah, because it didn't even get hot on the dyno. See, sometimes this game be glitching out sometimes. So, but anyways, now, let's see what we got. Yeah. Alright, so $9,421. Alright. We'll catch them guys later whenever they bring the car back to us for its regular maintenance. And we, you know, we gotta thank Jesus for getting us through this, giving us the talents to do what we do. That's the ultimate goal. But alright guys, customer is out of here. We got our money, and we'll go up in here and start shutting everything down because I am done. But either way guys, it's been fun. If y'all do see these videos, please, I mean, if y'all like the content, I try to, you know, add some more stuff to the story. I do talk about what you would really have to do on real vehicles. That way, you know, y'all are actually learning about real stuff too. Trying to reach out to the developers because I would love to see a damage system. Uh, you know, that reflects against the cars, and, you know, teach them about HVAC and air conditioning. I mean, that's all part of a car. You gotta learn how to work on it. There's so many ways that they can upgrade what they already have. It's unreal. But, either way, guys, that's it. I'm done for today. In the next video, I will catch y'all tomorrow on, Wednesday morning. But alright guys, y'all have a blessed one. If you like, please hit the like button. It helps me. Any of the proceeds that come off of this go to helping, you know, for us feeding homeless shelters. It does not go in my pocket. It goes out to do the work of Jesus that he asks us to do. And I'm already disabled. I don't have a lot of money. It's not even going to cost you any money at all. But you know, YouTube will eventually, once I get enough subscribers, you know, I can make a little money off of this where I can help other people. So that is my word. So subscribe and hit the like button, please. And plus it lets me know that I'm not just doing this just to be doing it. I'm really am trying to do better in my life. But anyways guys, we'll catch y'all tomorrow morning, Wednesday, and we'll see what we got against us there. Or not against us, but we'll see what we have to work on that day. But anyways guys, y'all have a blessed one, and we'll catch y'all later.